Welcome to the initial podcast of iPen Magazine. I'm Joann Cox.
I'm Nanette Buchanan, and we'd like to welcome you to talk about it. Let's talk about it, Joann. How have you been?
I've been just great, and you?
Good. Can't complain. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad to be here.
Definitely.
Through this all, we got some things to discuss.
Yes.
So today we want to talk about communication. And we want to talk about not just communicating, but creative communication. Because with this COVID-19, we got to be
everywhere.
We got to be creative with it. So some of the things that we were talking about, and we want our listeners to hear and understand is, we got family time, you got fitting it all in, so that's your scheduling time, and then you got to have time for yourself.
Exactly.
So let's start. Let's talk about it.
Okay, then.
What do you think, family time?
Well, when it comes to family time, we think about male, female, the spouses at home now, the children are at home. We've got to think about this as an entire family and how we're going to entertain each other.
Mm-hmm.
This is all new, different for each family member. So I say to get creative, let's do some of the things that we would do in our past. Some of our mothers, grandparents have all been able to always be busy. We know that children teach us the most. Children are very creative. We've got all sorts of electronics now. But there was a time when kids would much rather play with pots and pans than they would to be in front of all of these electronics for hours and hours.
And how do you communicate when your child is always on the phone or always in front of the Xbox or always in front of this? And this pandemic that we have has disrupted everything.
Yes,
because the scheduling is not the same. So I understand what you're saying, that the family should all get together, but what do you do when you're not used to being together? What do you do when your job is telling you to work from home? The school is telling you to teach from home. And everybody is home. So how do you adjust to all of that and communicate? Because the thing is, nobody's really listening to the other because that's not the norm. They're not used to that.
One of the great things that we have right now, Nanette, I'd like to bring up, is that the television and all of the people that are involved in this, they're actually here to assist us. They're the churches, they're the voice, there's the governors, the political area, and the therapists. They're letting us know what is stressing us out. So I would suggest the first thing you want to do is stay calm.
Yes. And not only that, don't get frustrated with kids' homework. There's online learning. There's online connections. Contact the Board of Education and ask them, or contact a friend. Contact someone and ask them, where are you going to teach this new math? Where are you going to get some of these things? Because we did not operate that way. And some families, those that have essential workers in their family and they're at work, it's the grandparent that might have the child. And they're doing this new math and they're doing this new learning. They might not know. So it's good for everyone to communicate in some way. Send that email. Because we have the uses of, like you said, the internet. The internet is a fabulous tool. Now is the time for you to learn how to work that computer.
Yes.
Maybe that child can show you how to go and where to go for certain things. Even your pharmacies. Your food is ordered online. All kind of things are done online. But what about scheduling? I think scheduling is a problem too.
It is.
Trying to schedule all of that.
It is, and that's a great point as well. Because if you know how much time you're going to spend with your significant other versus your time with the children, and that separates your time with the children for enjoyment, family time, versus now homeschooling. Now you didn't even realize that you were on a deep schedule when you were at work.
Yes.
When you clocked in, or whether you had to clock in or not, you had a time that you checked your emails.
Yes.
You had a time for lunch.
Yes.
So we're going to bring all of that knowledge and all of those resources into the home and know that there's going to be a specific time that you're going to do homework with the kids. Do not allow yourself to be distracted.
Exactly.
Because we so much want to communicate with the outside world.
And not only that, the thing about it is, in a lot of homes, if you do have the two parents in the home, or you have older siblings in the home, Allow them to take some of that burden off of you while you're doing your conference calls, or you're sending your emails, or you're setting up your products that you sell from home.
Yes.
Even the entrepreneurs. You had an empty house, so you worked from an empty house, but now you got the kids involved. But if you got that older sibling, that one that's away from home because colleges are closed, let them become the teacher to teach the younger child. Get involved, but also give them a schedule. Not only that, if you have the parent that says, well, you know what, I don't have at-home work to do, that could be the person to help with the children, do the cooking or anything else, because you still got to make arrangements to cook. You still got to make arrangements to eat. But then, Joann, what about me time? I'm working like that all day and working with the kids. When do I schedule me time? I can't go to a nail salon. We can't go to the hair salon. We can't get away. They are suggesting exercising and walking.
Yes.
But what else? What else can I do to schedule some of this downtime to reduce some of that anxiety and some of that stress? What do I do about that?
We go back to the word over and over again. It has to be scheduled in that time. And what you want to do is schedule it before you get so stressed out that
you didn't get it. Yes.
So from the very beginning, once you've set up your breakfast, your lunch, your time with your significant other, the time with the children with homework, now it's me time. You're going to fill your cup so that you are now ready to be replenished and give back, to the family. Now, what are some of those things that would make you feel replenished?
Some of them, hey, reading a nice book, being able to sit back and get some quality out of my me time. Reading a nice book, sitting down, even reading my Bible.
Yes.
Getting some religious things. Maybe some empowerment things. You know, any type of reading that I could get in that's going to push me to let me know it's okay. Yes. To let me know that it's not terrible that we're in this crisis. I need something that's going to take that anxiety away. It might be time for me and my hubby to take me time together and watch a movie. Sit back and watch a movie. A good show. I know one of the things that me and my husband found out was we kind of like the same regular shows. Not so much with the movies, but just the regular shows, the sitcoms. Yeah. We kind of like the same things. And we take that time. And some of that becomes also family time. Because why can't you watch that movie with the kids? Now, why can't you?
And what I would like to bring up are some of the things that stress you out and how to give it a different look. Now, for me, electronics was like, how do I do this here on the computer? I don't know how to work this gadget. This is the time to pull up the resources and find out, if nothing else, is to go into the internet and to ask those questions. They're clearly defined. This is how you're going to make this happen. PowerPoint. Now you got time. Yeah. This is how you're going to do a presentation. Yeah. This is how you're going to go through Slack.
And in other words, what you're saying is, even though we're in a time of crisis, this is a time of learning. Exactly. And we can learn to communicate a lot better if we just take in all of the components. How about making that schedule and setting that time with those that we want to know about the time? There's nothing more stressful than going to someone saying, hey, it's time to do this, and they look at you and say, no, I got something else to do.
Yes.
You have to make that schedule of time with the people that are involved. You can't tell the kids that they're going to work from 10 to 2 with their homework if you never mentioned it to them. Or the husband that, hey, we're having dinner at 6. And he's looking at a game on a show, a repeat of a game or anything on TV. You cause rifts when you do those kind of things. So to keep the stress level down, anything that you schedule, even your time on the computer to learn, if you just want them to stay away while I try to get this done, you have to speak and communicate. And I find that a lot of times we don't do that. So I think that with communication, we can knock out a whole lot of our anxiety.
Yes, and that's called creative communication. So I'd like to take this time out to say thank you for attending our initial podcast with iPen Magazine. I'm Joann Cox.
And I'm Nanette Buchanan. And I want to leave you with a word. Of course, we all like to communicate, but we want to leave you with a good word. If one doesn't hear, listen, or speak, or voice the meaning of their message, and this is what we've been saying, Joann, the whole time, the message is lost. The message is lost. If I don't communicate, listen to who's communicating to me, speak what I mean when I set up my schedule, when I set up my me time, when I do what I need to do, message is lost. And you bring on your own anxiety. And that's not what we want to do in talking about it. We want to talk about what we need.
I want to thank you for attending our initial podcast with iPen Magazine.
And I want to thank you, Joann, for being here. And I want to thank you, guests, as well. We want to leave you with a word of thought in reference to communication. We got to have a message, and it's got to be clear. So, if one doesn't hear, listen, or speak their meaning of what their message is, that scheduling of time, that having the family time, that I don't understand, that I don't know where to go for resources, the message is lost. And one thing you don't want to do in communication is lose the message.